Hey everybody, this is graphic designer Roberto Blake of robertoblake.com helping you create something awesome today. Let's talk about some reasons you should consider going to college for graphic design. Now I want to preface this and lead off with the fact that just because you want to be a graphic designer doesn't mean that you should get a degree in graphic design. I'm of the opinion that because of online learning and because of self-discipline and the fact that your portfolio is going to be the judgment of your value as a graphic designer, that if you're going to get a degree and you need the optics of a degree for whatever reason, that you should go for something other than graphic design and then just take graphic design classes as electives or audit them. And here's my reasoning behind that. When you interview for a job as a graphic designer, especially if you interview with a creative director or an art director, they're not interested in your GPA. They're not interested in where you went to school. For the most part, that's going to be true maybe 90% of the time. Now, if you're working for a major company or trying to work for a major company with a big corporate structure, that might be different because you may not be interviewing with the person that you're going to work for. You might be interviewing with an HR person, a hiring manager, what have you. And that's a very different situation. But if you're going to work directly at an ad agency, and it's a medium to small ad agency, which is probably going to be the case if it's your first job just getting out of college, then the degree in graphic design is not going to play a role there. However, you might need a degree to get through the door because of filtering or job descriptions or whatever. So maybe you get a degree in something else. Maybe you get a degree in digital media and communications. Maybe you get a degree in marketing. Maybe you get a degree in something more general like business, which is always respected. Maybe you go for a degree in fine arts if you're more inclined to that, but then you want to apply things commercially and get into the advertising world. Maybe you go to fine arts because maybe you can learn all the graphic design stuff, but you can't learn things like illustration, and maybe you want to get into magazines or editorial where that will be useful, or maybe you want to go into fashion, or maybe you want to go into just other areas where the fine arts education and the skill set there might be more useful to you, just because you don't have the ability to teach yourself that, but you have the ability to teach yourself graphic design. So you go for that profession, you leverage that, but then you get a skill that you don't have, and you still have a degree that's applicable, and now you've expanded your range and what you can offer. So I would recommend that if you're going to be a graphic designer, you don't necessarily need a degree in graphic design. You can go marketing, you can go fine arts, you can go business, you could even go something IT related, you could go computer science if you feel you want to balance that out and maybe have design and programming under your belt. But again, it just depends on your personality, and you have to decide what skills can't I learn on my own and leverage the education that way so that I get what I'm paying for, since I could learn all this graphic design stuff for free maybe and still take electives for the stuff that I don't know, etc. So that's my advice on that, and how you decide, well, maybe I go to college because I have to. Maybe it's the filtering for the jobs and you're afraid of that and you don't want to try to get around it, which I'll give advice on. Maybe there's something cultural to where your parents are insisting that you go to college, and if they're going to subsidize that, if they're going to pay for you, then great, take the free ride to college, or if you have scholarships or what have you. But I'm going to give some more direct personal advice. If you have parents who are insisting you go to college and take out student loan debt that you're going to be paying down for the next 10 years, and they're insisting on it for whatever reason, and they're not paying for it, they're not subsidizing, I would say that if you don't believe in the value of it, to push back against that, resist the optics, and maybe sacrifice some of the respect there in order to have a better control over your situation, your finances, and the direction of your career and your education. Because at the end of the day, you have to live with this. You have to live with the fact that maybe because you took out the student loan debt, you're more desperate for a job and you take a lower paying salary than what you actually could get or deserve, or you take the first job offer out of fear of the market and so on. And student loans take away a lot of your leverage in negotiation because of the financial burden. When you have the ability to walk away from a job, you've got more leverage there. But if you have crushing student loans debt, you're not going to be willing to walk away from any opportunity. So I would just keep that in mind. Some other reasons to consider going to college as a graphic designer is maybe you live somewhere that doesn't necessarily have a need for graphic design, doesn't value it appropriately, doesn't have a lot of advertising and marketing considerations, is not a business hub. Maybe you're in a small town or small country. Maybe you use the opportunity to go to college and go away for school to get yourself into a different environment and the place that you want to work for the next 10 or 20 years. That's what I would say if you're coming from that background. School is a great opportunity to get out of your current environment, be around a different culture of people that maybe share your values or your ambition, be in a city where there are companies that are going to be able to trade on your skills and pay you appropriately for them. So I would say that that's a really good reason to go if it means you can change your geography and you don't necessarily want to live where you are right now. I would say that college is a good avenue for doing that and making it work and building the connections that you need to sustain that and build infrastructure. And my last reason for actually going to design school is maybe your social economic status means that you don't have access to the hardware and the software tools for this industry, and that will be your best way of being able to attain them, either free or affordably. Colleges have great discount programs for students who want to buy the software for themselves. In some cases, they can get it for you a lot cheaper, and you have free access to it in the computer lab and in the classroom. So those are some opportunities you might want to take advantage of. If you don't have a situation where you can do it on your own or someone can do it for you, then school is a great opportunity to get access to resources, not just information, but actual tangible resources that you can use to be more successful. So I would say that those reasons and those motives are appropriate for saying yes to going to college as a graphic designer. I hope that this advice really, is actionable for you and that you're getting something out of it. If you still have questions, definitely leave those in the comments section below. If you have an experience where you have, not been able to get a job in the industry despite your degree, I want to know your story. So definitely make sure you're leaving that in the comment section as well, because I think people need to read that. And if academia has been good to you, I understand that. If getting a graphic design degree you feel has helped you in your career, I want to hear your stories too. Despite my view, I don't want to have a bias toward that. So leave those in the comment section below and let us know why, and quantify it, please. Not just that, oh, it was expected of you. Give us a real interesting story of exactly what helped you as far as having that degree and whether you feel it's something you could have done on your own or not. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome content on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching. And don't forget, create something awesome today.